Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, their forever home in New York, $2 million unpaid to their contractor. What's going on?
Hollywood's biggest power couple was completely fractured behind closed doors, and a massive new multi-million-dollar financial scandal has just exposed all the cracks we needed to know about in their empire. Subscribe to the channel right now to get the unvarnished truth behind Hollywood's darkest financial realities. Upstate New York construction. For over a decade, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have successfully marketed themselves as the lovely pair that everyone seems to adore. They are famous for trading sarcastic moments on and off camera. But on Instagram, we always see their funny posts. The crazy part? They look flawless on international red carpets and project their image as a down-to-earth pair that the internet seems to adore.
Yeah, so, and they don't need any more bad press, but they bought this place, right, after the Baldoni lawsuit.
Yes.
So Blake bought this place in 2018, and it's in the Hudson Valley of New York, so like Westchester County, I don't know if anyone's familiar.
To cement this wholesome country living narrative, they chose the beautiful high society country of Lewisboro in upstate New York in order to raise their 4 beautiful young children. Through the web of private shell companies and a single high-security LLC, the company began aggressively snapping up massive 6 adjacent parcels of land, culminating in a sprawling 110-acre compound. This is the largest single land transaction that cost them a cool $12 million just to clear its title. Blake even went viral before a virtual meeting with the local Lewisboro Planning Board to personally talk about her grand vision of the estate. She even openly admitted that she was desperate to get shovels in the ground and promised to build an incredibly sustainable, eco-friendly architectural masterpiece. When you look at the approved blueprints, they show a colossal 14,500 square foot primary residence, complete with a state-of-the-art private gym, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and an opulent, standalone pool house. It was supposed to be the ultimate pristine family sanctuary, far away from the eyes of the Manhattan paparazzi. But behind all that eco-conscious facade lies a brutal wake of angry local tradesmen, severed business relationships, and silenced construction machinery. The entire development site has completely ground to a stop, transforming the dream compound into a ghost town of exposed concrete and half-finished framing. The couple has been hit with a mountain of aggressive mechanics liens from multiple local contractors and subcontractors who claim that the multi-millionaire actors stiffed them out of a staggering $2.1 million in unpaid fees for their completed labor. They are not faceless multinational conglomerates that can afford a budget shortfall. These are localized specialty firms that perform intensive structural framing, heavy waterproofing, and everything that comes under the sun. The single largest public claim comes from Flowcon Incorporated, also known as Flower Construction. They have filed a massive legal lien for $1.35 million. Their filed court paperwork details a laundry list of unpaid services ranging from high-end HVAC climate systems and industrial plumbing installations to structural trim work and critical septic grid integration. Industry insiders whispered that the flow of cash simply dried up because Blake's notorious reputation for intense, overbearing micromanagement turned the construction process into a toxic battlefield. Rumors were also going through the local community that endless late-stage design revisions forced crews to tear down completed work repeatedly without receiving updated compensation, pushing the contractors to walk off the job entirely before the holiday season arrived. This wholesome, organic image of a country mother raising her children in eco-paradise has collided head-on with cold, hard public court filings detailing massive outstanding debts to everyone who was working in the estate. This deep financial freeze did not just happen in a vacuum, as the mansion's sudden shutdown directly mirrors the chaotic legal warfare that broke out on her latest blockbuster film set. It ends with us. In order to truly understand why this residential financial disaster is hitting their brand like a Category 5 hurricane, we have to take a look at the public relations wreckage. Blake was always desperately trying to clean up the high-stakes contractor dispute that leaked to the media just weeks after her highly toxic, deeply personal legal warfare with the former co-star and director Justin Baldoni finally collapsed into a quiet settlement. The backstage fallout from the blockbuster film It Ends With Us did not just fracture the movie's production, but it threatened to permanently sink the lively Reynolds' corporate relationships. Blake had initially launched an aggressive under-the-table legal campaign against Baldoni, alleging a deeply hostile work environment and claiming his production team orchestrated a brutal, calculated smear campaign that caused her astronomical financial loss during the film's promotional tour. Public court documents reveal that Blake claimed she lost over $40 million in personal reputational damage. Alongside an astonishing $49 million in losses to the newly launched premium hair care brand called Blake Brown, and another $22 million in damage to her artisanal beverage line, Betty Buzz. She alleged that Baldoni's team deliberately painted her as an out-of-touch, tone-deaf diva in order to destroy her commercial viability. When the high-powered legal team entered the pre-trial discovery phases, the entire victim narrative completely changed. Baldoni fired back with a massive $400 million countersuit, threatening to legally compel the release of texts, emails, and under-the-table audio recordings that would expose the ugliest, most manipulative inner workings of Blake's inner circle. The civil court docket quickly turned into a high-stakes game of chicken, with both sides scheduled to face a public jury trial where every toxic behind-the-scenes interaction would be read aloud for the global media to dissect who is wrong and who is right. Just days before that explosive May trial was set to begin in a New York courtroom, a sudden emergency settlement was reached. The terms were shocking. No money changed hands. Court filings from the legal team at Wayfarer Studios confirmed that Blake dismissed her remaining claims without receiving a single cent from the defendants. She walked away with absolute zero, dispelling the reality that her massive financial damage claims were a massive legal bluff designed to bully Baldoni out of the franchise's creative rights. But now, something entirely different is happening, and while we have suffered nothing but silence from Ryan's side, he finally spoke, and let me tell you, it's surprising. So subscribe now because what's coming next will shock you. Ryan Reynolds stepping in.
So that was long planned. She went alone. She was at a Fendi event in New York a few nights ago, alone. Right. So this is a Hollywood marriage.
A sudden empty settlement with Baldoni was not a peaceful choice or a show of mercy from Blake at all. It was because she was forced to do so. She was desperate, and the panic move was forced entirely by none other than a terrified Ryan Reynolds, whose career was also in a lot of danger thanks to his wife. Behind closed doors, Ryan was reportedly begging, pleading, and demanding his wife to settle the case at all costs, completely horrified by what the trial's public discovery phase would do to his carefully manicured multi-billion-dollar business reputation. Ryan Reynolds is one of the most popular Hollywood stars, and his reputation is also carefully crafted. If that goes to hell, then their entire family would ultimately be decimated from the face of Hollywood. Ryan is no longer just a Hollywood star who plays Deadpool. He is a hyper-wealthy corporate mogul with massive financial stakes in Mint Mobile, Aviation Gin, Alpine F1, and the highly visible Wrexham Football Club in the United Kingdom. Ryan's entire financial empire relies on him being universally likable, charming, relatable, and commercially safe for big corporate advertisers. The terrifying prospect of his wife entering the public courtroom to face cross-examination regarding the allegations of corporate bullying, toxic diva behavior, and the weaponization of crisis publicists was an absolute death sentence for his and her brand partnerships. Hollywood insiders have revealed that Ryan knew a prolonged, messy trial would pull the curtain on their marriage. His joint business strategy completely destroyed the golden boy image that keeps his tech and liquor investments profitable. He had to step in as a mature adult and put out the fire before Blake's personal vendetta burned down their shared financial kingdom. At the same time, the exhausting stress of the public relations disaster has reportedly pushed their marriage to an absolute breaking point. The couple is now trapped in a vicious, never-ending cycle of emergency damage control. Just hours after the empty Baldoni settlement was finalized, Blake was hurriedly pushed onto the Met Gala red carpet, sporting a blindfold look in a desperate attempt to flash a glamorous gown and distract the media with fashion paparazzi imagery. The industry reaction was dead silent. No, everyone focused on Rachel Zegler instead of her. The narrative had already calcified in the minds of audiences. The public now saw a calculating star who used serious social media allegations as a corporate weapon, and the sudden emergence of over $2 million in unpaid mansion debt proved that the operational chaos followed her from the movie, set directly into her personal life. With their financial and social credibility crumbling on American soil, the couple has drawn up an ultimate contingency plan to completely vanish from the country, the Europe Escape Plan. With their public reputation in absolute shambles across the United States and local New York courts freezing their asset titles with legal mechanics liens, a radical top-secret escape plan has emerged from the inner circle. High-level industry insiders are reporting that Blake and Ryan are quietly preparing to abandon their massive East Coast property portfolio altogether and make a run for it. The couple has been holding intensive late-night discussions about permanently relocating their 4 young children overseas to the United Kingdom. The proposed move offers an instant pre-built strategic rebrand for their fractured public image. Ryan is already a celebrated cultural hero in Europe due to his highly publicized, financially transformative transformation of the Wrexham soccer team, giving the family a massive, adoring, international fan base that is completely disconnected from the cynical politics of New York and Los Angeles entertainment media. Moving to an English countryside would allow Blake to completely vanish from the tough glare of the American press, step away from the toxic stain of the failed Baldoni litigation, and attempt a complete personal and professional reset far away from Hollywood studio executives who have quietly grown completely exhausted by her drama. The only massive anchor dragging down this international flight plan is the complex logistics of their children's specialized schooling and established social circle in the States. This is also alongside the multi-million-dollar legal mess tied up in their New York estate. They are currently using their existing isolated $5.7 million Pound Ridge farmhouse as a heavily guarded bunker to hide from the constant media scrutiny, completely paralyzed by the reality that they cannot legally sell, transfer, farm, or change their massive dream estate into reality while active mechanics liens remain slapped on the property title. The golden couple of Hollywood is effectively trapped inside a cage of their own making, watching their carefully crafted empire of charm completely get destroyed under the weight of real court records, toxic industry feuds, and unpaid local debts. The perfect celebrity marriage is already high-stakes business, and this particular empire is currently bleeding a massive amount of cash, credibility, and industry goodwill. They both could be working on big films, but there are no reports of those projects. Ryan Reynolds has always been the golden Hollywood boy, someone who people adore, but thanks to his wife, now people are doubting him. Things are changing at a rapid rate, while these people are getting bashed in the whole industry. Do you think Ryan and Blake can successfully spin their way out of this double exposure? Or is the golden era of their Hollywood dominance permanently finished? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel right now for direct, fact-checked deep dives into the darkest corners of celebrity drama and the reality of Hollywood. Stay tuned, and we will see you in the next one.